There's mountain bikers. Kayakers.
Very good.
Nope. Yeah. Very good. Thanks for all that. You guys have these? Over in the door.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the PCOE PUSD joint board meeting. We'll do the flag salute with Jolene.
Okay. Flags behind y'all in the back corner. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Here, Edmund, here, Harrison, here, Keller.
Here.
Reed.
We do have an amendment to the agenda, and it's under item 11A, which is an action item. There's a description, and here referring to bonds. It should actually say hardship funding. And the language is incorrect in the current agenda. So we need to make that amendment to the agenda for the meetings.
I'll move to amend agenda. No, second.
Okay. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. That's what we have the amendment approved. You can go ahead and approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the amended agenda. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll start off with some presentations. First off is the Principal's Recognition Award. Whoever wants to step up first.
Hi, everyone. We're super excited that Miss Avery Ekenrode is here to join us. Come on up. Trustees, Cabinet, this is Avery Ekenrode. And she has been with us for several years. Our sixth grade team chose Avery because she's an amazing student who's always on task and working hard. They can count on her to be doing her best work and helping others. She's making amazing growth towards her educational goals and continues to blow them away each day with her dedication to her education. The sixth grade team would like you to know that they're really proud of you and keep up the great work. Miss Chris is particularly proud of you for your work in your poetry club and the fact that you're going to be brave and share one of your poems on stage at one of our assemblies upcoming. So super proud of you for that. And Mrs. Griffin has always admired you for your work ethic in regards to your reading and the progress that you made and dedication. And so she just wanted to be here to support you tonight. So congratulations, Avery. Here is your certificate. And then we're going to go around so that you can shake everyone's hands.
I am thrilled to welcome tonight's 11th grade student, Jade Gardner. Jade is actually a full-time independent study student with us at Portola, and there's a few really cool reasons why we chose her for this award. So first off, the teacher, Miss Angela Hawkins, says this: Jade's a very responsible student who has a positive attitude towards learning and is consistently working towards her goal of attending a four-year college. She has a delightful personality and is so kind and respectful. I salute her commitment to excellence and cannot think of a student more deserving of the Principal's Award. The other neat thing that Jade has done is even while being at home full time, she actually started a club on our campus that's very well attended. So the advisor of the club, Ms. Henson, had this to say. Jade's an amazing member of the PHS student body. She started the Dungeons and Dragons Club from the ground up and recruited an amazing group of students. I'm amazed by her leadership abilities and her way of listening to the group and including everyone's thoughts and ideas. She's creative, organized, inclusive, and thoughtful. It's been a pleasure working with her as an advisor. She is deserving of this award on so many levels, and I'm very proud of her for starting a new club at PHS from home. So Jade, you're very deserving of this recognition. We want to welcome you back to our school with this award, the principal's recognition. Congratulations.
Next is our teacher, and I'd like to invite Melissa Leal.
It's actually Mrs. Frank. She's
gonna-
yep.
Thank you,
We'll do this here just so I don't start plowing too fast. My name's Kara Frank, and I am our special day class teacher here at CRC. I work with our kiddos with moderate to severe special education needs. And when I said I would take on being the teacher for our camps, I kind of thought, I said, well, nobody wants to go, I'll go. And then I got a message like 2 seconds later. It was like, great, Kara's going to do the teacher feature. So, and then like 20 minutes ago, I got more information about it. But the great thing is I love to circle the globe and talk about my students. And so here we go. One of the cool things about our classroom is that I have a TK through 6th grade program. So often teachers of special education get the opportunity to be with their kids and their families for a long period of time, right? And so it literally becomes, like we say this a lot in classrooms, but I've taught gen ed and I've taught special education, and it really is a little family. I have the most incredible team of paraprofessionals in there who these are their babies, just like they are mine. And so in the spirit of change coming at CRC, I just want to talk about some of my gratitudes in that classroom, because I feel like it's just the right angle to take with what's going on in our classroom right now. So we use the word inclusion a lot in special ed. I think it's like one of those, well, we use it anyway in education, right? Every student is a general education student, some of whom have a large percentage of their day with special education needs. And so those are the kiddos in our classroom who are working really hard to be able to maximize their access to their peers who are typically developing and in social situations, but also as much access as we can have to typical educational situations. So, and there are a handful of kiddos who are in our room for much of the day. We've got one little fellow who pretty much gets off the bus and shuffles in there, and he's there all day long, and then we go back to the bus, right? And so we're really working on what opportunities can we find. And then when we started thinking about the word inclusion and including these kids on the campus, the beautiful thing is that our campus is totally open and welcoming to these kids like nothing I've ever seen. My husband always used to tell me this story when he was a kid, and this was, of course, back in the dark ages, you know, the beginning of education. When it would be his job to bring the lunch order to the office, he would have to walk like way down this hallway, and then there would be like the scary room with the kids that never came out, that you only saw when you walked the lunch order in. And of course, the culture is that we're moving away from this, but also CRC does this so beautifully. We're in this bright, beautiful classroom right at the front of the school in the kinder building. People are coming through all the time. Good morning. They know our kids by name. We are out in the garden all day long. Mrs. Hodge has made a sensory garden for us, so our kids who have a hard time accessing, whether they have physical limitations in place, or some of our kids have a hard time with different textures and touching things. So she's made just beautiful little places and gardens and experiences for kids to move and touch things that they maybe wouldn't necessarily have access to do that. We had a Wild Things assembly this week, and our kids were there in the assembly, right? And so, of course, the fella, he's like really building it up. He's like, okay, I need everybody to be quiet for this next visitor, right? And of course, my kids are like, ah! And the owl goes, like, but everything's cool. The kids know one of our Coyote Buck prizes you can work for is you can spend your Coyote Bucks to come into our classroom and be a helper. And we have had like the most amazing group of kids that like just some really kind of like shy, quiet kids that you would never think were going to be the ones. And what it is it's an opportunity for, maybe you're not the highest flyer, right? Like, oh, you're always done early. You can take a volunteer job, but anybody who wants to can take that opportunity to come in and be a helper. And being a helper could just look like playing with somebody who maybe doesn't have a friend to play with, or, showing somebody like, oh yeah, he's trying to sit down and work on this. Want to show him how to hold a paintbrush or something like that. Anybody can be a kind friend or can be an expert when you're just coming in and showing a life skill or a social skill that might be really easy for you, but they can be really hard for our kiddos. So I guess get emotional thinking about it. Everyone here that knows me is so grateful to have me talk to somebody that isn't sick of hearing about it. So I just wanted to, so we've got this one little guy, like, one of the things we do in our circle time, because we're always looking for alternative forms of communication. And so I'll say like, if you're excited that it's snowing, touch your nose, or like, wow, if you thought our song sounded really good, let me see you raise the roof a little bit, right? So, and then there's always like kids that are really involved in and then there's like, for years, and this is one of the things we call it the land of miracles in our classroom, because you do the same thing and you try it 100 different ways and all of a sudden one day the miracle happens, right? It's like, oh my God. So we have this one little guy, not interested in my songs, doesn't want to tell me, doesn't want to touch his nose, doesn't read, doesn't like, no. And he decided he got a piece of, my classroom's very free when kids are in there, what do you want to, it's like, we're learning how to access our own things are available. What do you want to play with? What do you want to learn? Who do you want to work with? And so he gets a piece of black construction paper and wants to do a drawing. But of course, it's super frustrating because things aren't showing up, right? So first the yellow pen and so mad. And, and then he figures out that, and we're offering, do you want this? Do you want that? No. So he figures out that if he uses a pencil, kind of like the shimmer of the pencil on the paper, it makes like this glowing color, right? And so he's wanting to make a spider, and he very rarely say, he's a really quiet kid, right? He'll tell you like, no, but otherwise doesn't want to talk. And so he draws this and goes, I did it. And he actually raised the roof a little bit. We're still talking about it. It was before spring break. It was the greatest thing in the world. And I just look at that and I think like, this is like to identify something in yourself that not only was inaccessible, but all of a sudden you're a problem solver. You're an artist, you're a problem solver, you're all these things. And he made a spider and he was very, like friendly, showing it to people. And so it just tells me that when it seems like we're doing something over and over again and we're not making progress and it's not happening, and what can we do when we're meeting and we're working and, time's ticking by and, are we falling behind or whatever that is? It's the bottom line is that kids are learning when they're involved and they're included in situations where the learning is available to them. And I mean, we've got the best that there is here at CRC. Honestly, it is a beautiful campus. It is a beautiful crowd of everybody. I mean, Miss Marquette invited us in to see little trout that were hatching. Like there's been no situation that I felt like was off limits to my kids. And it is a really, really rare, beautiful thing. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to hear from our student representative to the governing board.
Hi, my name is Celeste Zuniga, and I'm a senior at PHS. This year has been full of fun activities that have brightened our day and has brought joy to the town as well. We have had the Haunted House, Tiger Classic, Basketball Bonanza, and Donkey Basketball. We also have prom this weekend, and next weekend we have the PHS Carnival. Basketball and football have also given us fun and unforgettable nights, and soon to be baseball and softball. The Haunted House brought the town together for a fun and scary night. ASB put together an awesome haunted house full of volunteer students that wanted to bring joy to our town. The teachers in trick-or-treating had trick-or-treating in their classroom, where they handed out treats to trick-or-treaters. All kids, teens, and adults enjoyed a scary and fun night. After the haunted house, we had an awesome tire classic put together by Maggie Clemstert, a PHS senior. This was her community give back and final outcome for her senior project. At the Tiger Classic, we enjoyed 3 nights full of fun basketball games. Weather didn't stop us, and JV and girls and boys were able to bring home a trophy. Basketball Bonanza was a week full of fun dress-up days like Duo Day, Teacher-Student Swap Day, Mathlete versus Athlete, Anything But a Backpack Day, and of course, Purple Pride. We also got to crown a king and a prince. This fun weekend led up to a wonderful winter formal that many people enjoyed. Later on, donkey basketball became the talk of the town. Everyone was all smiles during the event. More than 400 people were in attendance to witness the event of the year. The teams were PHS seniors, PHS alumni, FRC women's basketball team, and Beckworth Rangers. PHS alumni took a pride in winning this match. Sadly, it wasn't seniors. This weekend, PHS students are excited for a masquerade prom, which will be held at the Nakoma with a grand march before the dance. We will also be bringing back the PHS Carnival. The carnival brings joy to everyone in town, and it is an opportunity for classes to earn money, so please come by. Sports were also a big hit this year. The football team made it to the Northern Section Championships. They sadly lost to Fall River, but we all felt proud of them. Both our varsity and JV basketball teams had a great season. Both varsity teams made it to playoffs, and our girls even traveled to Chaska College for the Northern Section Division 5. They lost, but they still moved to state and played to Upper Lake, which they also lost sadly. Everyone enjoyed all the basketball games and all the food that was sold at the concession stand. This year, we also had wrestling for the first time, and everybody was excited about that. Seniors have a busy couple of months ahead. Seniors will be preparing for their assistant grad interviews, which are today, senior project presentations, senior banquet, senior trip, and graduation. The assistant grad scholarship program is unique to PHS. It is free money for our seniors to help them prepare for their future. Senior project presentations will be held May 19 at PHS. Seniors will give their presentation on their senior projects and will be judged by staff and community members. The senior trip is scheduled for June 3rd and will be at Great America. After the trip, we will have our senior banquet where we will announce our valedictorian and salutatorian and be awarded our scholarships from assistant grad night. We are also excited for graduation, which will be June 9th. PHS has brought joy to all the kids attending. We are extremely thankful for the awesome staff we have. They all care for us and give us all the help we need. We have AP exams coming up, and AP teachers are trying hard to prepare us for them. I have been extremely lucky to be part of an awesome school that has prepared me for the next 4 years of my life. PHS does a great job in preparing all their students for their future, giving them great opportunities to excel and stand out in college applications. And I want to thank Ms. Sheridan for giving me this opportunity to be up here, and you guys for letting me sit up here with you. Thank you.
Next up, we have PCTA President Carol Hutchins.
All right, I'd like to have my teachers go ahead and come up with me. So it says I have 10 minutes. In all actuality, I have 2.5 minutes because I've got each of these will have 2.5 minutes as well. We're presenting what's called the WHO Award, and I'm excited because this is something the CTA has offered for all of the years, for the last 10 years, but Plumas County has never stepped into this award. And this year, when I became president, I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. WHO stands for, it's kind of a fun acronym. It's we honor our own. Think of like the Plumas, the Academy Awards, they honor their own. Well, that's what WHO is. And so when I worked with my CTA representative, I said, well, who gets honored in WHO? And her name is Kat Stevens. She said, well, you have a choice. You can either honor teachers who are active in the union and support union cause. I said, okay, what else? It says, or you can just honor teachers for just being a great teacher. I said, that's what we're going to do. And so we went in that direction. I put out an email for all of the teachers that are in the union, because it is paid by CTA. So the union teacher, I said, I want to hear of the most outstanding teachers in the district. And I started getting and explained the WHO Award, and I got all these. I was excited, got all these nominations, and that's who is here. So I'd like to present the first award. She's not here. Her name is Wendy Mall. She's a teacher at this school, but to show her dedication, she actually showed up this morning. I saw her. She showed up because she knew that I was going to be here. That I'm going to talk about that later. But she also showed up because she's a teacher, but she was sick. And she went to Missy and said, I don't know what to do. I threw up this morning. I'm feeling really sick, but I don't want to leave my students. And it's like, well, duh. But anyway, so the award was given by another teacher, Carlena Braun, over in Chester. And this is what she had to say. And then each of the teachers are going to be getting an award that looks like this. Okay. It says, Wendy Mall is a fourth grade teacher here at C. Roy Carmichael School in Portola. Over the past 2 years, I have seen Wendy be a great collaborator during our district-wide meetings. So Carlena is actually a teacher in Chester who nominated Wendy from here. That's cool. She is always willing to share resources, give great teaching tips, and goes above and beyond her teaching responsibilities to implement effective change to the way that we assess students. Many things she has created are now things we use district-wide. She is very passionate about fourth grade, and it is apparent through the way that she leads and guides us during our collaboration meetings. Wendy also had her own work in producing this because she's also my right-hand woman in the union. She works with me as PCTA president. She does a lot. She works behind the scenes, and she actually helped produce these and didn't know that she herself was honored until I said, okay, here it is, Wendy, you're doing your own little award. So I appreciate Wendy, and I'll hand it over to the next of my teachers.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hutchins. I'm a Spanish teacher at Portola High School, and I was the one that nominated the wonderful, fantastic Amanda Osborne. The nice thing about Amanda is I work right across the hall from her. So I feel like she's an English teacher at our school, and I feel like I'm learning English all over again. Even though I teach Spanish, sometimes the Spanish English gets mixed up. It's nice to have those refresher courses. She's very dedicated, and she is willing to tackle even the toughest of assignments. Last school year, she was given some very classes, can I say junior high? And she kept them in control and taught them well. Currently, she teaches AP, I don't even know. We all teach like 6 or 7 different things, but I know you're teaching AP and you're teaching the upper level, 9th and 10th grade kids. And I hear her telling the students how to break down a paragraph, how to bring each assignment step by step. Her tone's informative, it's caring. She maintains high expectations for her students, but she still has a friendly rapport. You can hear her laughing with them. You see students staying in there at break. She gives up lunch times many, many times because she's also a sophomore class advisor, which is no extra pay or anything, but she's very dedicated and very, very good about making sure that those students know what to do. As much as teenagers think they know everything, they need a lot of guidance, and she's very good at that. She's excellent on just that step by step. I've also seen how she mentors students through whatever process she needs, and how she delegates, which these kids need. They need to be delegated to and given that responsibility, but with that leadership and guidance behind that. And all in all, she's caring, firm, but fair, and she readily recognizes each of her students' potential and builds relationships with them towards success. Her students are truly fortunate to have her as their teacher, and that's why I nominated her. Amanda Osborne. Thank you.
Thank you. I am Kristen Marquette. I'm a fourth grade teacher here at CRC, and this is Caitlin Brubaker, who is our opportunity teacher here at CRC. If you're not familiar with what opportunity is, it's severe behavioral needs students who are maybe struggling in the general education classroom, need to be pulled out, having some one-on-one time and some small group instruction time. And she's the GOAT. She's the greatest. If there's a kid that is struggling, she's there, whether it's her student or not. She's there to support all of us teachers if we have one of those students in our classrooms. She's amazing. She's calm all the time. She deals with really, she said she had a desk flipper today, and it was like, that's her normal day. So she deals with her students with a calm demeanor. She's so patient with them, can de-escalate any problem with them. So she's just been a wonderful addition here to us at CRC and absolutely irreplaceable. So it said, Caitlin is currently our opportunity teacher at CRC. Caitlin's roster is filled with students who severely struggle behaviorally, socially, emotionally, and academically. She has created a welcoming, calming atmosphere in her classroom for her students. Students have been able to quickly build a strong rapport with her. Caitlin is trustworthy, kind, consistent, and patient with her students. When a student escalates quickly, Caitlin is there to support the student and staff at a moment's notice. Her students have shown tremendous growth in their social emotional skills, and it's truly amazing to see Caitlin work her magic with them. So many moments in her day go unnoticed by staff, but she is truly one of the most special educators that I have had the privilege of teaching with. Caitlin is an esteemed colleague who is a leader, kind, witty, gentle, and bakes the best chocolate chip cookies as a kind gesture for our staff. CRC is beyond appreciative of the work Caitlin continues to do, and I'm proud to be her colleague and her friend.
Hi, I'm Helen Lemna, teacher on special assignment at Quincy L as the art specialist. And this is Nancy Saib that I wanted to honor, who is a second grade teacher and a reading specialist at Quincy Elementary at the Pioneer campus. So when I got the email from Daryl, it's just like, well, of course, Nancy. And one thing that is amazing about Nancy is she is actually at the top of the seniority list. Could you ever believe that? So, like you said, you know, the expression 60s or the new 40s, or well, I tell you, number one on the seniority list is the new next leader as a consultant or whatever. So district, you have some very dynamic retirees. So why did I pick her? Well, when first of all, our kids are about the same age, so we know each other outside of school. And when I transferred from Greenville, Cass, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Familiar face. So when I transferred from Greenville L to Quincy L, we taught fourth grade together. And she really saved the day. And she brought my teaching to a whole new level, I do have to say, in terms of helping me to be a more professional teacher. And just with a sweetness that just a bottomless sweetness, basically, and patience. So I have always admired her and the way she relates to students. So I'm just going to read my little blurb here. Nancy is an outstanding teacher, bringing the arts and cutting-edge teaching methods to the classroom. She works tirelessly with pioneer students needing extra support with reading as a reading specialist. Nancy is a lifelong learner who went far beyond the call of duty for her training as a reading specialist. She is a gracious coach, sharing her knowledge while empowering others. She is a caring colleague, quick to give cards, little gifts, and lots of encouragement to her colleagues. Nancy is an engaged leader, active with the leadership team to the end, meaning her retirement. So, you know, some retirees kind of post the last few years. Now, Nancy, she's like gung-ho to the end. She keeps a positive outlook no matter what, and she's a dynamic, youthful role model as her PUSD teacher with the most seniority. Thank you, Nancy.
It could be her.
Thank you very much. Now is the opportunity for public comment. As outlined on our paper agenda, I do want to remind the speakers that there is a time limit of 3 minutes. And there is a limit of 20 minutes per topic, but I don't think we'll get there tonight. But again, we appreciate you observing the 3-minute time limit. First person I'd like to call up is Tanner Lowe.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm Tanner Lowe, a junior here at Portola High School, and I come asking about the hat policy. Moving here around 2 or 3 years ago from Carmel Unified School District, I was allowed to wear hats there, and I moved here, and I realized why am I not allowed to wear hats? I've just always kind of wondered that, and I'm coming to you guys asking for change or reasoning why. I believe that nowadays that hats have a freedom of expression towards people's attitudes and behaviors. And I think taking them away will just make them not happy and not want to learn. So I feel letting these students wear their hats and express themselves, even in the winter months when they need it for heat or have a bad hair day, you know? If the teacher takes away the hat, they don't want to learn. They're frustrated that their hat got taken and sent to the office. And I've read so many articles on this, and it's just so many other districts don't do this. And this is honestly the first one that I've ever seen out of me bouncing around from Truckee to Auburn, just all around the state. Yeah. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this that I looked up. So a report from Education Week emphasizes that schools that enforce strict dress codes are associated with statistically higher rates of exclusionary discipline. Exclusionary discipline means punishments that remove students from the classroom, such as in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions, and expulsions. That means students are most likely to face consequences for violating school dress codes that ultimately cause them to miss class. The more class they miss, the more likely it is that they will fall behind in school. And I know our district cares about equity. While dress code violations do not often directly result in exclusionary discipline, such as suspensions, expulsions, the Ed Weekly report continues to explain how estimated 44% of dress codes outline informal removal policies, such as taking a student out of class without documenting it as a suspension. So in conclusion, let's give students and teachers more agency in their classroom policies, dress codes, and expression. Let's expand our social emotional thinking. Let's spend time talking about learning goals and standards. Let's reduce discipline and policing student behaviors that have no real moral or education value. I ask the board today to please consider dropping the hat ban and head covering ban and allow us to start a new chapter in Plumas County schools. Thank you for your time.
Yes, Porter.
Good evening. I have some strange quirk in my personality. I actually enjoy school board meetings, so I'm glad that you're meeting in person again. I'm here tonight because I do have a concern. I went to 2 presentations that Superintendent Roderick did recently. After the first one, I was concerned that there wouldn't be a comprehensive education for those students who wanted to go to college, taking care of the A to G requirements. I did like what I was hearing about the ag program. And then after the second program presentation this last weekend, I'm more hopeful at this point that we'll find ways, you, the school board and district, and we, the community, will find ways, perhaps with the help of the charter school, to pool enough resources so that we can meet those requirements for the kids that want to go to college. I do want to set one thing straight. I heard in both presentations that only 5 kids in 5 years had met the A to G requirements before COVID. And that may be true, but I went back and just looked at the classes that have graduated in 2019, 2020, and 2021. 36% of those kids went to college. So it's not just one kid a year that's doing that. They may not have met the A to G requirements. And as a curriculum director many years ago, that was a frustration across the district that the numbers meeting the A to G were so low. But please understand that our students do want to go to college. A fair number of them want to go to college, and I hope that we can find a way to do the ag program, but also meet the needs of those kids who want to do other things, including a college education. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Daryl Hutchins.
You guys might be tired of hearing from me. The big thing I want to do will be next month at the board meeting. I'll run it through Bill before I get there. But today was actually the last of 9 visits that I did to all of the different schools in the district. And I am so thankful that CTA allowed me to do this. They help finance this in terms of, food. The most important thing for these teachers. I brought food to each of the schools and donuts and Subway sandwiches and etc. But what I really was excited about was being able to get into the classroom. And I think I got into probably 70 to 80 classrooms over the last 2.5 months. Today was especially good here. I love getting into these classrooms, and I did about 20 classrooms today. I can't believe I did that many. But I'm excited because there are so many examples of excellent teaching here in this district. I am just overwhelmed with how some of the teachers handle the issues that they handle, but also just quality teaching. And so I want to present the board next month, and I'm going to work on doing that, is some of the quotes and some of the examples of what's happening in this district. It is just incredible. And I'm just excited about it. So today was the last of those meetings, and I'll run through Bill, whatever will eventually get to the board. But I just want to say we're done with the presentation, and I've got a month to pull it together. Out of 74, by the way, pages of notes, I had one document that I did all throughout the time, 74 pages of notes. I promise you, you will not get 74 pages.
Quarterly reports on the Williams uniform complaints.
No complaints.
No complaints this quarter. Great. Student achievement.
All right, this afternoon we have two content areas that I'm pleased to bring forward you tonight, really related to 7 through 12. Our science vertical team, led by Dallas Tognati from Chester High School, has really recommended a textbook adoption. It's been probably 5 years of piloting through the NGSS implementation and the transition to the integrated pathway, but they have selected one that they've been using this year. They like it. They would like to move forward with it now for the next 8 years when we do an official adoption. So I'm pleased that we're at this point. We have tried probably 4 or 5 different things, and to have consistency is always good. So thank you to our science vertical team led by Dallas Tognati. So this one is an action item tonight. We are looking for your approval of a textbook adoption for 7 through 12 science.
Okay.
Questions?
Any board members have questions? Yeah, looking for a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt the recommendation of the new textbook for the science program.
Okay.
McGraw-Hill, California Inspire Science 2020.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, just clarify.
I will make sure.
You know, we have a motion, then we have a second.
I second.
All right, first and a second. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm saying I did not take the time to review it.
Thank you. Our second item is our 7 through 12 language arts English team. And so led by Erica Purdue, been a busy year led by Erica. I'll first begin with district-wide writing assessment results. So we do this in 7th, 9th, and 11th grade every year, have done it for about 5 years. So you've been on the board, you've probably seen these results before. So you do have a short summary document attached to that. And from that, you can see how our students are doing. We have about half of our students in those grades that are meeting or exceeding standards. Kudos to our teachers, that one English teacher back there who have helped administer that. Even in the middle of snow days and delays going on, they pushed through and got that done. Not only to students is it a good thing to measure our progress on our writing, but it's really a professional development opportunity for our teachers because they get together district-wide and score for 2 days. So every paper gets scored by 2 teachers. They pass it around, they discuss, they compare and talk about strengths between schools and teach strategies, and then set goals of things to focus on for the 23-24 school year. So multi-layered benefits to this process. So I just wanted to share that with you today. You might hear it called the DWAWA is what it's called, like on the ground level. I don't know, but the district-wide writing assessment. Okay. The second thing for 7 through 12 English is that curriculum sequence. And so we have tried a number of things as well in English language arts. And you can see we now have a flow that we would like to recommend that we officially adopt.
using what's called Springboard at the junior high level, so 7th and 8th, which is put out by College Board, which really feeds into the pre-AP 9th and 10th grade English curriculum, which is also by College Board. So it's a really nice 7 through 9 flow. And then at the 11-12 level, the what's called ERWC. I'm sorry, I forget what that stands for, but it is the 11 and 12 English text or curriculum adoption, or the AP choice at the 11th and 12th grade. So if we officially adopt a sequence, it is really a nice 7 through 12 flow with some good choices for students. And yeah, so a huge thanks to our English team for putting this together, and really Susan Frediani, our instructional coach, is heavily involved as well. Good. And then our third thing here is just our core novels. So we're trying to update in accordance with that curriculum. We have some new novels that we want to add to our list. And so we bring these to you. You see a long list of here of 3rd through 12th grade, and anything bold is new. So there's only going to be 2 there. You'll see one in 7th grade, a novel called Tangerine that goes with that curriculum in the 7th grade, and then a new addition for the 11th grade curriculum as well. So I noticed that this is an information item tonight. And so it is your information. So, are there any questions?
About the writing assessment?
Yes.
So how was that information from the writing assessment shared with the other English teachers around the district?
Yeah, so good question. So Amanda, were you part of the scoring?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing since you're here?
So what we did, get together as many of the English teachers as possible to score the papers. And then we did a debriefing at the end and talked about how we would use them. That information, Erica Purdue also pushed out to all of the English teachers. And then we've highlighted some areas of weakness that we want to address as we go forward in the coming years. And we've shared ideas on how we would use that information to go forward with our classes. And I know several of us have come back and given our students their papers and some reflection and done some follow-up assignments and are building our teaching methods going forward.
And is there any communication at the elementary level? Because those 7th graders, obviously are coming off of their elementary education.
That's a great question. So we actually had one of our 6th grade teachers, Megan Stewart from Quincy Elementary, participate, and it was just a great professional development opportunity for her to see what the level of expectation is in 7th grade. So definitely at one school site we did, and we can share that amongst our other schools. And if we can bring in our other 6th grade teachers next year, at least one of them per school site, always sub-dependent, which is always one of our challenges because they do take 2 days to score during the year. So we'll definitely share that with the team. Thank you.
As I'm looking at the chart associated with the assessment, is this in line with improving the scoring that is here? Is that what we're trying to adopt? Then?
We're trying, always trying to improve. I'd say over the years we're holding steady. Okay. And so coming out of COVID, holding steady, I think is a good place to be. And we certainly want to improve that. But certainly some challenges this year with loss of instructional time as well due to snow days, particularly in some of our communities, Chester and Portola. But just it is where we're at right now. And yes, of course, we're trying to improve every year.
And so compared to previous years in classroom education minus our few years, is the chart about the same?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't put last year's. I can get that for you and I can send that
to
you.
But even last year would be about the same. So I guess we were like 19 would be more of the comparison because there was no interruptions during that year.
Yeah, we would have to go back to 2020, right? So we shut down in March. So I'd have to go back and see if we did it in 2020.
Okay.
But we could look at the comparison.
I mean, I know we're kind of past that now, so we're in reinvention anyway. It was just because I love your charts because they are visually easier to understand to read. And so that's why I was just curious if from your knowledge from the past to where we are at today, and obviously you guys are doing this study to move us in the right direction. And so that was just curious on.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty similar. I can get you the exact numbers. I'm sorry I don't have that. Yeah, it's a good question because is this good or is this,
right. I mean, especially as I'm seeing the color blue on how small that is, but it is a very large green. And so as in Met and stuff. So, but it is a very large yellow on just approaching.
Yeah. And I mean, to get a 6, it's a 6-point rubric. It's challenging. Like it's got to be excellent to get a 6, right? And so to get that 5 or the 6, in that 4 or 5 range. But yeah, there are a big group of yellow right there that you notice are.
Yeah, I can comment on that.
Yeah, sure.
That's really our area that we're focusing on is how, because a yellow The rubric goes 1 through 6. A 4 is met. Like, and a 3 is the yellow that you're looking at.
Okay.
So we have a large group of students that are almost there.
Yeah.
So they just need a couple things and they just need to develop a little more. So we're really trying to see how many can we push up to the green in the coming years.
Awesome. So thank you. Yeah.
I think thing to note about the flow chart when that's adopted is that's a commitment to rigor. It's a commitment to academic excellence and really lining it out. And that is the path that is adhered to. You will see this chart change dramatically over the next 3 or 4 years.
Great. Great.
Yeah, and that's at, that pre-AP,
Yeah.
to have all of our 9th and 10th graders, it's just our basic required course.
Yeah.
To know that you're in pre-AP, like there's an expectation of, well, what's after pre-AP, right? And so we're really looking forward to seeing the results of that. This is, I think, our 3rd year of kind of that pre-AP curriculum. So, yeah, and this junior high college board stuff is really good as well. So we'll help with the writing.
Thank you.
Update on Measure B projects.
All right. So the Measure B projects list that you have, these are a couple of these projects we're moving towards wrapping up at CES and Quincy Junior Senior. You've got the blinds, insulation, flooring. The modernization, all the modernization bids also came with asbestos abatement. So it's 2 for 1. Get to pay twice as much, but it needs to be done. And you can't come in and lay over the old tile. So we had it tested. So these are summer projects that will just continue towards the modernization. No real surprises. And items 1 through 5. Item 6, we're looking at moving 2 snow load portables from Chester L out here. This is the elementary school that's most impacted throughout the district. We have tremendous need for it, but even though the portable buildings, you have to go through DSA. And so we have HMR, our architect we use, and they'll be drawing up the plans and making sure we don't have to make sure we're tapping into everything correctly. And if we have any grade issues, but trying to get myself oriented, the 2 portables will go right over here. You'll see there's a baseball backstop. The baseball backstop is being moved, and then the portables will go there. It's not going to happen this year. We're going to have to do something, move some folks around for a year because as well as I do, we work with DSA, it goes real slow.
And those are the ones that are in the playground or the grass field.
Out in
Chester.
Chester, right when you pull in the parking lot, the 3
Oh,
right there.
okay.
So the first 2 will move.
Okay.
And then we'll regrade and blacktop and create more parking.
Great.
That's the plan.
Great.
So we're looking for action on Measure B projects. Something for motion.
I'll move to approve the project request as submitted.
I'll second.
You have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And we have a general fund project update.
So these are 3 of them are no cost. Items 2 through 4 are adding the NFHS school broadcast system to they're going to be the 3 high schools will be Quincy, Portola, and Chester at first, because they have a huge bandwidth capacity needed. And we don't feel right putting that impact into Indian Valley right now, because it will pull a bunch of the bandwidth out that the community is relying on. And as soon as the fiber comes into the valley, then the contract is ready, and then we'll bring in the cameras to the gym and to the stadium. And it's strictly for the CIF to make money off playoff games. They broadcast them all naturally. It's a really cool system. We can actually, I could broadcast a Quincy High School football game from this chair. The camera follows everything automatically. It's a series of 10 cameras in one unit. So as the ball goes, it just tracks it, records it, uploads it, and I can call the game live right here. It's pretty interesting. So we have those three, no cost. Doesn't cost anything to.
We have a winning season. Do we get part of that?
Yeah.
It's all over.
We do get
All over tickets.
each ticket that that we sell, and I think we get even a higher percentage if they purchase the membership for the student.
Yeah. There's a very small cut that comes back to us,
Okay.
but the CIF is pushing this initiative statewide. And then the last item is just our renewal for the lease on the repeater tower that we use for our school bus system. But we pay a number of these leases throughout the county, all at different prices. I want to own a tower. It's a rack. So that's where the
We have
money
a
is, right?
textbook option.
Yeah, we pay for some textbooks before we own a tower. So looking for approval on these contracts as well.
We'll move to approve the facilities contract list as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have a letter of intent we need to discuss.
Yes, I don't have the letter in front of me, but this is a letter of intent from our current auditors, Nigro and Nigro, for the school facility project and for the Quincy Elementary Hardship Fund, the roof project that we had. And so this is just coming so that we're on the up and up and know that the funds have been spent appropriately.
So you're looking for approval of the agreement?
Of the agreement at $9,500.
Okay.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion,
I'll second.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then we have a bid award for an audit firm.
Yes, so our current auditors, Nigro did give notice a few months back. So we did put a bid notice out there to the newspapers, posted it on our website. We only came back with one bid. And so we are asking, it's our recommendation to go ahead and go with Christy White and Associates. She is used by many different school districts in the state. And I actually did get to meet her last week when I was in Long Beach. And so recommendation is to go ahead and go with Christy White and Associates. A 3-year agreement.
Is it similar cost to Nigro?
Very similar.
Very simple.
And both for county and district.
So they were no longer interested in participating with us?
No,
Small.
we've actually had ever since I've been, so 8 years. So we've had our current auditors now for quite some time. And so it's just not financially beneficial to them.
Worked extensively with Christy White and Associates in Lake County before coming here. They did 5 of the 6 districts as well as the County Office of Education. Very straightforward, very professional, very easy group to work with. So I've had good experience.
What the price was?
Sure. Would you like to see it? Okay, so for this fiscal year 2023, 19,575 is for Plymouth County Office of Ed. And it's pretty comparable to the district as well. And we're only seeing slight increases in fiscal year 24 and 25.
Those are flat. It's not T-Downs or anything.
Correct.
And need board approval for that.
I'll move to approve.
Well, second.
A first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You need to reschedule some meetings.
We do. So the May 10th meeting, this one is purely personal, but as we start to ramp up with budget season LCAP, I don't want to miss a meeting. I have 2 daughters graduating from college. I have my oldest daughter's graduating from medical school in Michigan, and I have to leave on the 10th, and then we're flying from Michigan to LA. My youngest daughter, who will be teaching next year at Portola High School, is graduating from CSU Long Beach, and so I'm going all around the country and back. And so we're looking to move the May meeting 1 week back to the 17th. And the July 12th meeting, I will be traveling back from a Marzano conference in Iowa. There are only 2 national conferences
references for this, and Marzano that's the cutting edge of education. And I need to get up to speed with Christy, so I can talk the same language she is. And so I had a choice to go to Iowa or Alabama, and I do not want to go to Alabama in the summer. So I'm going to be traveling back from Iowa on that day. So we'll move that back 1 week to July 19th. And July is a pretty light meeting. So
we're looking for approval of rescheduling May 10th to May 17th and July 12th to July 19th. Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve the two attended, the two meeting dates of the 17th and of July 19th.
I'll second.
Have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Some policy revisions.
You have in your packet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 policies. The policy revisions brought forward to are according to our recommendations from CSBA. I went through, reviewed them all. There's nothing in there that are trapdoors. Most of it is becoming compliant and current with the ever-changing landscape of education in California.
Okay, great. We need board approval for that. Looking for a motion.
We'll move to approve that board policy.
Our first,
I'll second.
first and the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Excellent. And now the consent calendar. First, we'll take a look at the minutes from the board meeting of February 8th, 2023.
I'll move to approve the minutes. From the first one, February 8th, 2023, as submitted. I'll second.
First and the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And one abstention. And then we have the March 8th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Move to approve those minutes as well. I'll second. Oh. Either way, I'll second.
Go to you.
I'll second.
You're the winner. First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries. And then we had a special meeting on March 15th, 2023, the minutes from that meeting.
Move to approve.
Pardon?
I'll move to approve.
First,
I went for chair. What was it?
Okay, so we'll have to carry that one for the next meeting. No problem.
okay. And service contracts. First for Plymouth County Office of Ed.
Unless there's
any questions?
No, I wasn't sure if there was any more discussion associated with it. I make a motion to approve the PCOE contract list.
I'll second.
We don't.
We don't need that's information. So we do need approval for the school district. Yep.
Oh, okay. So we did one on this, on the other side list, that was for that audit, right? Or is this a third one? On the PUSD.
We did approve it earlier.
Okay.
This is not a separate one. It's same contract.
Okay, that's what I said.
So we'll approve the service contracts, excluding what appears to be item 2.
I'll move to chair.
I'll second.
Sorry about the order.
It's all right.
The order is 1, 4, 2, 3.
I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Dang it, gotcha.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Check registers for Plymouth Unified School District.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And we have field trips that need to be approved.
These are great. I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mhm.
Donations, excuse me. Seems to be quite a few.
Generous donations, I'll move to approve. A second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We accept those donations with gratitude. And at this point, I do believe we're going into closed session. Yes, sir.
We'll go to room 23, which is out around the corner right there.
I was first like wanting to do it.
We're reconvening out of closed session and it's 6:56. And first thing on our agenda is to report any action taken during closed session. And first thing up we'd like to take a look at is item 15. Subsection A, or section A, subsection 1. Are you bringing that up? Or do you want me to just?
Okay, sorry. Yes. Yes, I have it up.
Okay. But it is an action item.
And I will make, make a motion to approve. This is a PUSD stipulated expulsion. Number 2223-02. I'll second.
And we have a first and a second, all those do we need to roll call or is that?
Either way, I record all the names, so it doesn't
Okay.
make a difference. And I don't
So
think it's
okay, we'll
recorded.
just do summary vote then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion carries. Subsection 2 under 15A.
This is, I'll make a motion to approve PUSD stipulated expulsion. Number 2223-03. No, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. And then subsection 3.
I will make a motion to approve PUSD stipulated expulsion number 2223-0. Second.
The first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That carries as well, no, with no opposed opposition. And that covers all three. Okay, thank you. And then personnel items, PCOE, that's for information purposes only, and those items have already approved. And then the personnel items for Plymouth Unified School District, I'm looking for a motion on that, but there are some changes to the initial recommendation, and we're eliminating for now item A1C, and we're also changing the wording on another one, which is A2C, and from Quincy Junior Senior High School to district wide. And so I'm looking for a motion for those changes.
I'll move to approve the HR agenda with the changes that you just described.
Second.
Yeah, first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any future agenda items?
You're going to take action to approve the personnel.
What's that?
So to approve it as amended.
Yes. Yeah, yes. With that, all